I purchased some Starbucks gift cards to give to the flight attendants to thank them for the extra attention. Wow. I mean, are my people awesome or awesome? Making sure we got on board with all our stuff, putting the changing table down for me and not hurrying us on or off the plane. I flew first class and the changing table was at the front. They were wonderful regardless, but wanted to show some appreciation. Okay, let me stop there. This is such amazing advice that I would have never thought of myself, and I learned so much from my community.
Welcome to the Adoption Roadmap Podcast, your go-to guide to the beautiful, complex, and transformative journey of adoption. I'm Rebecca Gruenspan, a single mom through adoption consultant for over a decade, author of the Adoption Roadmap book, and your trusted guide. In each episode, we dive into real experiences, expert insights, and the raw, honest truths that you will need to navigate your journey. Whether you're just beginning, in the thick of it, or well past placement, you'll find support and community here to help you navigate this unique path with confidence and love. Adoption isn't all rainbows and butterflies. It is life-changing and worth every bit of effort. Let's learn, grow, and journey together on the Adoption Roadmap Podcast.
Happy New Year! Hi, I'm back. I feel like it's been forever since I have done my last live, and I'm excited to be back with you guys. New year, new word. My word for the year is adapt. And the way I got to it, if you didn't read it in my stories, I drove to the gym. Shout out to Planet Fitness. I drove to the gym. I thought I forgot my phone. Now, my phone is where I check in for the gym and where my workouts are. So I use it, and also music, but that's less important. And so I was faced with the decision, do I drive back home to get my phone, which is only 3 minutes away, and out loud I said, adapt. Okay, I'm just going to adapt. I'm going to go in and I'm going to just do any kind of workout. And so then I thought, wow, well, that's weird. I just said the word adapt out loud. It's a word I don't use very often. I guess that's my word for the year. So that's how I came up with my word. Do you have a word? And by the way, it turns out my phone was in my pocket the whole time, so we didn't have an issue. But if we did, I would have adapted. Do you have a word? What is it? I want to know. We launch the second, I want to say semester, trimester, but that is certainly not the right term when I'm thinking about my podcast. The second go round, whatever it's called, I'm lack of word. We are launching that second round of episode podcasts. There are all sorts of posts about it. Do not miss it. It'll be a great launch to a great new season. That is the word I'm looking for. Season 2 is coming to you live. If you have listened or haven't, please go do that. And anywhere you can, if you can give us a wonderful 5-star rating, that would be awesome because we would like to reach even more people this season. Okay, as I get started here, new year, new me. So first I'm going to get actually, it's not a new me. It's the same me and hopefully a better version. Stress check mood manager, motion activated aromatherapy spray with ylang ylang. Okay, these are not commercials, but if somebody wants to sponsor, they can. So I'm going to spray this. Oh, I feel less stressed already and in a great mood. Okay, then I'm going to take my Lotus Way Wild Abundance Flower Elixir, open up my water bottle, and I'm shaking it. I'm going to open up my water bottle. I'm going to take my elixir. It's called Wild Abundance, which is something I definitely want to manifest this year. I'll put 5 drops into my water. This is flower elixir. Okay, that's my other woo-woo thing. There's one more left that I'm going to do before I get into the meat of what we're going to be talking about today. So mix it up. Let me get a little Wild Abundance flower elixir. My last thing is, I think the last week of the year, I pulled this card from my positive affirmation card set, which a client got me a while ago, which I absolutely love. But I pulled this one that says, my life becomes richer as I get older. Love that. But I'm going to put it back and pick a new one for this week. Stop. All right, what's the first card that I pull? I can learn new and positive habits. So that'll go on my little stand. I love it. All right. Well, welcome back to This Week in Adoption on the Adoption Roadmap podcast. Today, we are just going to go through a lot of things that came up inside of our community over the holiday season and the beginning of the year, because they are asking amazing questions, and the answers, I just have to shout out to the RG adoption client community. It's amazing. It's amazing. The support that goes on inside of here is top notch. Somebody asked, once matched, did you ever see a sonogram? We were hoping to visit during a doctor's appointment, but the timing doesn't work out with taking off work. She had an appointment a month ago, but there was no sonogram. Is it okay to ask to get one from the next appointment? And let me read you some of the answers. You could ask her if she would be willing to send you pictures of the sonogram, or if she's willing to film it or do FaceTime for you while she's getting it done. Some doctors' offices will make DVD digital recordings of them, but that's an office by office thing. During our match, we were sent sonogram photos and one video. Another person said, I would definitely ask for a sonogram pic if possible. We were lucky enough to get 2 from our birth mom. We were very grateful for those pictures. And have you seen these 4D ones? I didn't even know 4D was such a thing. I think they're called 4D now. They are really kind of creepy and disturbing, to tell you the truth. But am I still? Okay. And then somebody else said, we got one photo from the social worker who went with her and asked permission to send it to us, but definitely worth asking. So there you have it on sonograms. All right, here's another post that I'm going to read. And this is about relationships with our birth families. If you look at my post history here, you'll see how hard I've tried to foster a strong relationship with my daughter's birth mother. But man, she's not making it easy. I know that she gets really emotional, especially this time of year, as she has a tendency to drop off the face of the earth sporadically. This often happens around the holidays, around my daughter's birthday, around visits, even when we're already in town to visit. My daughter just turned 5, and birth mom didn't send a text or a message. She hasn't messaged in a few weeks, in fact. I've sent her messages for the holidays and told her I was thinking of her on my daughter's birthday, but no reply. It feels different though now, because my daughter keeps saying how she misses her sisters, her biological sisters, and her brother. And she's trying to figure out why there is this missing piece of her family. I want to be able to say that I'll coordinate a visit, but it's not really in my hands. I've tried that repeatedly, and the birth mom has just disappeared or flakes. I think my daughter's awareness level is increasing, and I feel I've reached a breaking point where I can no longer set her up for disappointment. How do I explain the situation and why her birth mom isn't showing up and why she can't see her siblings? I do not want to badmouth anyone, and I also don't want to promise something I can't deliver. Wow. This is an incredible question and conversation, and one that's very common. and one where, we talk about explaining the story and explaining the nuances of our children's adoption with them as it is age appropriate. And this gets a little tricky. So let's see what our community had to say. Just sending a big hug. Let's see here. Our birth mom is also similar. I never know if she will be at a visit or text back. Most of the time she's not present, but her birth dad is very present. So I'm grateful for that. Is there anyone else in the biological family that you can build a reliable relationship with? That might help a bit. Just keep the door open. Your daughter will have to make her own decisions. Be there to support her, her feeling around them. It's a rough road. We just have to be there to support our kids the best we can. And then someone else said, hey, that sounds really hard. I will say that's a really, really a tough one. How do you explain that to your children that, you're all set for a visit, we're going to visit, and then it doesn't happen? And I would say maybe we say, you know what? Let's take a trip or a vacation to such and such a place. And if we can, maybe we'll be able to visit your birth mom if she's available. I can't make any promises, but that would be really great, wouldn't it? I know she's really busy, or, she's dealing with a lot in her life. So, we'll hopefully be able to see, but making no promises. I don't know, maybe that's a way you can word it, but that's a hard one. That's a hard one. And that has happened many a times, even in our relationship, where birth mom will be really present for a while and then completely disappear. And it happened more when my son was younger, and then less so since he's been older. And I do know that birth moms go through seasons of having it be more difficult than other times where they feel like they can have that relationship. So it's a tough one to manage, but I think in all the relationships that we manage within the adoption triad or constellation, that boundaries need to be set in place. And so when we're talking about we cannot make promises when we aren't the ones fully in charge of keeping those promises, and that we have to explain to them, I can promise what I will do. I can't make any promises for your birth mom or whoever, but we're certainly going to do our best. How does that sound? And I think that's one way to handle it. Okay, the next question came in. Any ideas for a gift for my baby's birth mom and dad for our child's first birthday? We gave mom a necklace and dad a multi-tool when baby was born. I've also sent pictures every few months, so thought maybe a picture book would just be repeat. One person said, I sent pictures a lot, but still did a picture book for his first birthday, and she loved it. There are a lot of moments in between that I think she likes to see. I also did a handprint ornament one year. I found someone on Etsy to do a custom painting of her holding him also. Oh, that is so cool, of the birth mom holding her son. Oh, wow. It's little, so not super expensive. What a cool idea. God, Etsy is amazing. Etsy, if you want to sponsor us, please. Come on. That was the only comment, but let's see, what else could you do? I think gift cards are appreciated a lot. If you know they shop at Target or Walmart, or even an Amazon gift cards can be really helpful. Or if I'm just trying to think, do something that's practical that they need or that would be helpful for them. So gift card, restaurant, like if they love Bob Evans or something like that, and maybe that's where you went when you visited them. Maybe a gift card to Bob Evans, or a gift card to Target or Amazon or something like that. Pictures, handprints, artwork, those are all really great ideas. Okay, hold on. There's more to come.
Before we go on, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We still have so much to talk about. Hey there, Adoption Roadmap fam. Are you ready to take the next step on your journey to parenthood? If so, head over to our website and take our quiz. It's called, Are You Ready to Adopt? It's not just about testing your knowledge. It's about making sure you're emotionally and practically prepared for the beautiful, complex journey of adoption. Let's make your dream of parenthood a reality. Go to rgadoptionconsulting.com and take the Are You Ready to Adopt quiz today. That's rgadoptionconsulting.com. The quiz is free, and it will let you know where you are in the process and if you're ready to jump into your adoption journey.
We just booked our trip. We just booked our trip to visit the mom that we've matched with. Our 5-year-old is not coming, but we were thinking of having him draw a picture for her that we would bring. Is this a good idea or a bad idea? It would 99% likely be of a truck or of his butterfly Lovey, but thought it might be cute. Maybe have her write his name on it, or something like that. But I'm wondering if it's too, crossing a boundary of some sort. And everyone chimed in and said, no, I think this is a really sweet idea and a really sweet gesture. And I couldn't agree more. I think that if you are coming, it does not cross a boundary. It is not coercive. They want to be part of it. If your current child already knows of the adoption and what you're going to do, I think that that's a really sweet thing to do, to just say, to just have a little letter or artwork or something that they create for the birth mom, the expectant mom. I think that's really sweet. All right, there's a couple more I wanted to bring up because these were so good. Flying home with our little one tomorrow. Any tips about flying home with a newborn are welcome and appreciated, and we got a lot. One person said, I remember being so worried about flying home with our son, but it was honestly a piece of cake. Definitely talk to the people at the gate check at gate check so you can board early. Absolutely, you can board early for many years to come, so take advantage of that. We ended up buying 3 seats and bringing our car seat on the plane with us. It helped. Bottle at takeoff and landing. Baby will sleep. We did not need any documentation to fly, but you need to have it because the minute you don't have documentation, someone's going to ask for it. So bring your, adoption documents that you signed to show that it's your child, especially if you're of a different race. You might get questioned, most likely not. And the thing about the car seat, you can buy a seat for the car seat if you want to bring the car seat on the plane. I would say don't bother. If you have something that you can hold your baby in, like a baby sling or something, plan to hold your baby. However, bring the car seat to the gate because they'll gate check it for you. If there is an empty seat next to you, they'll let you bring it on anyways without paying for it. So save your money. Either one is fine. Here's what worked for us. Somebody else said, be patient and kind to yourself. Amen. Wear the little one in the airport. I had a Solly wrap that allowed her to be close to me without having people come and touch her. Amen to that. Feed at takeoff and landing. Many people will say that it helps with their ears. Best to have the pre-made formula bottles. Absolutely, those glass ones that you can just shake. If you can't, or if you don't have and you just have formula, I think they'll let you have a full bottle to take on the plane with you, or you can call for the flight attendant, and they'll do it for you. Change diaper before boarding. Know where the changing table is on the plane. We used points to fly first class for the extra comfort and check-in luggage, only to find out the changing table was in the back of the plane. Bring a change of clothes for the baby on board. Let me read that again. Bring a change of clothes for the baby on board. One for you and one for your partner. Great piece of advice. Their baby peed all over herself and all over them. So they needed new clothes. Love it. Let me drink my abundance water. Hold on, please. Here's some tips. Enjoy it and take deep breaths. I had so many people who offered to help, who fawned over my son and were so wonderful. A lot of curiosity, which was nice, and also sometimes uneasy when someone got a little too nosy. I just smiled politely and walked away from those that didn't get the hint. I purchased some Starbucks gift cards to give to the flight attendants to thank them for the extra attention. Wow. I mean, are my people awesome or awesome? Making sure we got on board with all our stuff, putting the changing table down for me and not hurrying us on or off the plane. I flew first class and the changing table was at the front. They were wonderful regardless, but wanted to show some appreciation. Okay, let me stop there. This is such amazing advice that I would have never thought of myself, and I learned so much from my community. Buying Starbucks gift cards to give to the flight attendants for their help. Now, this person who answered happened to be a single mom and was flying solo. Another person gave me a suggestion recently about bringing little gifts or like snacks or whatever for the nurses at the hospital. Another great idea. Listen, you can never thank somebody enough, and it goes such a long way. Baby wear if you can. I put a light blanket over the carrier through security, and they didn't even ask me to move it. Maybe they thought I was pregnant. Bring the pre-filled ready-made bottles. The hospital may give you some, and always ask for more if they do. I hired a car with a car seat to drive us to the airport and then home. It was costly but worth it. Less hassle than dropping a rental off at the airport. Oh, good idea. I called the airline before to confirm a lap infant, get any guidance about boarding for their specific airline, and see if there were any documents they would require. Definitely bring a doctor's note saying you can fly, right? So you want your adoption papers and also a doctor's note saying that you can fly. Also, some of the airlines will sell you one of those zip bags to put the car seat in, and you can check it, easy peasy, it's fine. You'll be good to go. But it's easy. It was easy for me. Oh, pacifier, the bottle at takeoff and landing, and also having a Passover definitely helps with their ears. Pack any extra bottles, extra food, just in case. Even if you know it's an hour flight and the baby's not going to need another bottle, you never know what you're going to get stuck with. So plan for all scenarios. Another person said peed all over the place, needed extra clothes. All right. Those are all great ideas. All right, great. So far we've talked about sonograms, relationships with birth moms, on and off, setting some boundaries, flying with newborn. I want to read just a couple more. There was so much. So let me just read a couple more. Okay. This one was interesting. I mean, these things, I never even think of them. After bringing your baby home, has anyone dealt with a grandma needing so much time with the baby, feeling left out all the time, wanting to be around for all the firsts and all of that? If so, how did you establish boundaries in a healthy way? Okay, so boundaries are coming up again. Setting boundaries with your children, setting boundaries with the birth family, setting boundaries with your family and friends. We definitely want grandma to have a relationship, but we're also trying to establish our own traditions and routines as a new family. Okay, here are some of the answers. We struggled with this with my mother-in-law. Our oldest was her first grandchild, and she tried to be overly involved in saying things to her husband like, "They're taking our baby away," when it was time for us to head home. It started making me feel really bad about myself and how I was taking care of my baby. We tried talking to her about it and setting a few boundaries, and she just didn't want to listen. So we had to set bigger boundaries, like limited visits, and then stopped having visits so often altogether, along with a few other boundaries. It took her a while to understand where we were coming from, but she eventually back down and we were able to loosen some of the boundaries. If this is her first grandchild, she's probably just overexcited, but it's definitely still hard. Another person had this with the maternal bio grandmother, not with their parents. One person said, we did, and this wasn't necessarily adoption related, but we did struggle with this with my mother-in-law when we brought home my oldest. She was showing up constantly without calling, and it was really affecting my mental health postpartum. My husband had to just tell her in a kind way that we understood she was excited, but we were exhausted and trying to get to know our baby as a family. He told her she needed to call and ask before she came over, and that she needed to respect our boundaries if we said no. It was tough at first. There was an awkward time when she showed up and we had to send her home. Woo! And she was very upset, but we got there eventually. It's hard but important to set boundaries early, or this will continue. Sit her down and just have a calm, respectful conversation where your boundaries are clearly stated. Offer a compromise like we'll send lots of pictures, or you can come over once a week at this time as long as we aren't busy. And this same exact scenario came up, same type of scenario, with one of my moms who just adopted, and the birth mom it's just constant, and it's feeling overwhelming for the new mom who's, again, just starting her own routines and everything. And so she said, I've been very respectful and responsive, and at the same time starting to set some more boundaries in place. So the sooner that you can do that, the better your relationship will be. The sooner you can do that, the better your relationship will be. If you avoid it, avoiding it is just not even the right kind thing to do. One person just said in the comments, all I have to say is, I should have listened to those around me regarding reconnecting with my birth parents, but I guess I had to learn the hard way. I'd love to learn more, Hannah, about what you mean by that. Like you did connect or you didn't connect, or it was hard to reconnect. What do you mean by that? I'd love to hear more. Anyways, these are some, there's others too, and I will get to it next time. But here's a couple things I want to say. There's been a lot of talk in my community about post-adoption support. So I'm really, really, really excited to announce that we are putting that together right now, a post-adoption support community. Let me see. I can even tell you what I think we're going to call it. But if you are interested in learning more, please message me and let me know. We'll put you on the email list for announcements about the Adoption Continuum Collective. The Adoption Continuum Collective will be our post-adoption, I think that's what we're going to call it, our post-adoption support membership group. A lot of people have been asking in our community, as our kids are starting to grow older and having issues such as setting boundaries with birth families, with our own parents, with our children, whatever it might be, all of the different milestones about when our children are going to be more affected by adoption, what things might be coming up for them, what things are normal parenting stuff and more adoption related. These are all things school age, how to navigate the IEP or special supports at school. These are all things that we're going to be talking about inside of the post-adoption membership program. So if you would like to learn more about the Adoption Continuum Collective and want to be one of the first to get access to that, please message me at RG Adoption on Instagram, on Facebook. You can email support@rgadoptionconsulting.com and just let us know you would like to be on the list for the post-adoption membership program. If you just write post-adoption, we'll know what you're talking about and we'll make sure you're one of the first to know. We're excited to be launching this in the next couple months and want to make sure that you are in the know. The final thing, I want to read what Hannah said. I reconnected with my birth family in 2021. Everyone warned me she was a toxic person and hadn't changed, but for some reason I chose not to listen. CPS told me to walk away from her, but I didn't. I'm so sorry you had that experience. And I can only imagine that irregardless of what anyone tells you, it's still your mom, still this person that birthed you. And so I don't know that anyone would have totally listened and stayed away. I think your curiosity and your pull to her probably was way stronger than what anybody could have told you to do. So whether that was right or wrong for you, I'm sure it's a really hard situation that you're in, and I know that you're strong enough to navigate it and figure out what the best thing is for you to take care of yourself and set those boundaries. But thank you so much for sharing that. So it's not always rainbows and butterflies, as I say often in the podcast, but I sure am glad that you tuned in today. I hope that there was some sort of learning or aha moment here. I thought these were all golden nuggets of questions, and I learned a lot, as I do always, from my community. Continue to tune in. Please leave us some great 5-star ratings on the Adoption Roadmap podcast. Take a listen to a few episodes if you haven't already. And if you're interested in our post-adoption membership support community, please reach out to me in one of those ways that I mentioned, and we'll make sure you're one of the first to know. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you again next week. Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. If you did, I have a few favors to ask of you. First, please hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, I'd love to hear your takeaways. Please write a review and let me know what you liked. And if you have a question or a suggestion on what you'd like to hear, I'd love to hear that too. Please shoot me an email at support@rgadoptionconsulting.com and let me know what you'd like to hear about. And if you have a question, I may just answer it online. Thanks again for listening. Tune in every Wednesday and Friday morning for a brand new episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. Until next time, bye-bye.